How's everybody doing today? Gonna jump back into the 268 giveaway saw. I'm gonna show you guys where I start. I always pretty much start in the same place, and that's on the transfers. For two reasons. One, a lot of the grinding is in the transfers, and two, that lets you know how your plating is gonna grind. Not all plating grinds the same, and you gotta tackle some plating differently. Now, I'm gonna show you guys what I do. I want to bring these transfers down almost to the bottom. So I just take a scale, a steel scale, and I stick the flat end onto the bottom on the squish band, and I draw a line. And then I go the other side of the transfer, and I draw another line. That'll give me something to work off of. I'll show you guys this as soon as I'm done. That gives me something to work off of. Just something that's there, that's nice and straight, to let me grind straight. Okay, draw another line. Okay, I'll show you guys that. Okay, now I'll let this dry for a couple minutes, and then we can get to grinding. Now, couple things you want to keep in mind, or at least I do. Okay, this is a windowed piston. The bottom end charge goes through the windows and fills the transfers. Okay, now how wide can you go? Let's see if we can do this here. How wide you can go is dictated by how wide the skirts are. Can you see that? Okay, now again, this is not just, but you guys know what I'm saying. This is just going to be a good work saw. We're not gonna push the limits with the lower transfers how wide we can go, but you could, right? So what that's showing me is I could bring these over to here. Okay. You don't want to start getting into here because again, you're blocking the flow anyways. You want some support on your piston. If you're building a work saw, if you're building a fun saw, you know, you're limited only to your imagination. Okay, now I'm going to go to this. I mean, there's so many different burrs and tooling you can use. Everybody likes something different. I'm probably going to go at this. I like these egg-shaped burrs. They give you a nice soft edge as you're grinding. I like the square burrs for an exhaust port. There you go. Okay, double cut. These aren't too bad either. You can go in. Again, it gives you a nice soft edge. I'm going to grab a couple of these egg burrs and go to her. I'll get you guys some shots of the grinding as I do it. I love grinding on film. It's fun, and you guys get to actually see what's going on. Okay, I'm just going to slowly start roughing this in. And hopefully you guys can see this. You can see pretty good. Here, we'll zoom you guys in. Okay. Now these highway cylinders, the plating's pretty hard on them, so I take small bites to start with just to get through that plating. There you go, and I'm through. Okay, all I did was break. See that? I just broke the edge of it. Just to see what the plating's going to do. It's grinding nice. Sometimes plating gets chippy. That usually means that my tooling isn't sharp enough. Okay, I'm going to keep going and try and keep that line straight. Here's a shot from inside the cylinder. This is looking down as I grind onto the lower transfer. Notice there's a few bumps and ridges. I'm just getting into the corners right now and smoothing and blending the corners, and then I'm going to get rid of the ridges and slowly break that edge of the plating. This is just finish work, just slow and steady, and just take light passes, and before you know it, you're done. Now notice there's not a lot of material at this point coming off the tooling. I'm just taking light passes. Notice those ridges that were on the left are now gone. Just blending everything in and finishing it up. Okay friends, about half an hour later. Turn the light on for you guys there. Okay, there's stock. Ported. See what I did? I'm just going to blow these chips out. Okay. See what I did? Just shunk. Okay. Stock, there's a lip there. It has to come around the corner and in. Okay. There's another shot of that. Now, a little bit of chipping going on there. That happens. That's the spot where it's going to chip more often than not. I'll sand that smooth. Piston never really touches there, but it does happen, guys. Okay. Now, I'm going to do all my finish work. This is just roughed in. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is, sorry, right here. I'm going to go in. I'm going to thin this part, okay? I'm going to slope it and thin it. I want more passage before we get to the upper transfers, okay? I'm going to go in and do that right now. Again, blow your chips out after. Check your work. Okay, I'm just going in and getting rid of some of that material in that bridge that's there. Set my light back up here. Okay, stock, ported. Okay, you guys see that? I gotta get rid of that little bump in there, but okay. More of a straight shot, more volume. Okay. Just gonna go in and see if I get that little bump. Of course, I can't see when I'm in there. There we go. There's that little bump gone. This is fun. I love porting on film. Fun to show you guys. Okay, you can only go in there so far, but okay, there you go. Now I'm going to flip it around and start doing the other side. I'll do all the finish work. Okay, there is our finished transfer. I'll scuff the sides, break the edge a little bit more, and true up all that, but that's basically our finished transfer. This is where you want to make sure you have really sharp tooling. If you chip the plating a little down here, don't even worry about it. Don't sweat it. Again, when you're doing these corners like that, be careful. That's where, on an OEM or an aftermarket cylinder, if you're going to chip it, it's usually in the corners of the transfer here, okay? Get you guys a little bit better view. There you go. There are chips. Sneaking up to that line we drew. There you go. You see what we got going on there? Okay, I'm gonna keep cutting it down till it's almost at the bottom, just like that one. Then I'll do all my final cleanup work and shaping, and we'll have our transfers done. Most of the work is in the transfers, believe it or not, and I believe that's where most of the power is made. Okay, we're getting close to the bottom, so I'm just going to be careful that I got to get these corners in. There we go, we're almost there. Okay, it doesn't take long once you get going. The key is just find the tooling that you like and find a speed that you like or that your tools like and just give her. Okay, friends, here is our finished transfers. Okay, so I thinned out the bridge right here, and just try and make them match. You gotta kind of have an eye for it. Think about what the air is doing. Really study a stock lower transfer. Look at what the air is doing, and go from there. Okay. We want it to flow lots of air, at least in my style of porting. The more airflow, the better. Just making sure that they match up. Now, what I will do is I'll go around and I'll break all the edges with this Scotch-Brite. I have also, again, when you're grinding a transfer, generally it's on transfers, you can peel the plating back on the corners. So what I did is, you can see there's a little chip there. No big deal. The piston never touches that. I'll go around the edges with this sanding drum and clean that up. Now, the last thing we got to do, that transfer's got a little casting booger in it. You see that? I'm going to get rid of that with my right angle tool. If you don't have a right angle tool, if you're very careful, you can go in on an angle and just hit it with something like that. Hey friends, so I want to show you guys something. It happens, and when things happen, I'm always going to show you guys. Check this out. I had a little oopsie, and it does happen when you're grinding. Now, what actually happened is, I was grinding out that little ugly spot, and I actually chipped the plating over top of the transfer. Now, should I use this? No, I'm not going to. I want to show you guys this because it does happen. As soon as I grabbed that little nub that was there, that was it. I actually ripped it right off. So, what are we going to do? Well, I've been dying to use one of these tight nickel pistons. Friends, when you're grinding, sometimes things happen. We got beautiful transfers on here, but I can make those again. Sometimes things go wrong, friends, and you know what? This is the way power saw building goes. I never port when I'm in a hurry. I need a full day to port, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Every cylinder that you port is going to be different. Sometimes you hit hard spots. Sometimes it just is what it is, friends. And don't let stuff like that get you down. I'm going to show this because that's the way it goes. I could probably... See, here's the thing, friends. I can still use this cylinder, and I might. I could lower the cylinder enough that I could get rid of that. But that's a project for another time. I could easily put this in my lathe, cut the base, which would lower everything way down, raise the transfers back up, and go to town. But my promise to you was we're going to do this with off-the-shelf parts. So, in the next video, we're going to slap this on that bottom end and time it. What does a 272 kit get us? Just means one of you will get a saw with more power. Let's try one of these Titan nickel cylinders. I haven't used one of these yet. I'm pretty excited to do so. Anyhow, friends, that's the way the cookie crumbles. As always, thanks for watching. Take her easy. In the next video, we'll time this and see where we're at and pick our numbers. This will give us 72 cc's versus 66. This will fit right underneath the hood of that 268. That's the way the cookie crumbles. And the way I look at it, this is just going to be a better top end. We're going to make more power. Anyhow, friends, as always, thanks for watching. Take her easy. Later.